to Salt Lake City. Oh, there it is on the ground.
You know Tom at Turbo Resource.
Yeah. Pretty amazing how this motor came to be.
It was really smooth.
We're gonna get a tour. That's amazing. Wow. You guys do that many. Those are 100% failure rate.
That are
common fail. Tested down to the millionth of an inch.
A half of a micron.
Look at all these cores. Oh wait, there's more. Like turbo heaven. Dustin. What happened to Scott? We are gonna twin turbo the Cummins boat. It's another beautiful day in Havasu.
No, it's not. It's hotter than hell.
So we got some engines to load up. We're gonna deliver those to Utah. And then we are on our way to Salt Lake City to dyno the B&D.
Dumpster to dyno.
Dumpster to dyno. What are you doing?
Stop number one. That was not on my to-do list.
Come on back. Touch tailgate. Whoa, there you go. That's
Touching.
That's the way.
We're gonna slide it right on.
We'll just take it all, cardboard and all.
A little bit of droppage there. That's nice.
Cardboard hits the truck. It'll slide right in, I think.
Kind of working.
That worked incredibly well.
Well, as you can see, we're not in Havasu. We pulled up here to Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City. And Nick went to shut off the engine and it wouldn't shut off.
He's just here and it was still running.
So I twisted the little thing, the plunger, everything was all missing. I went to look underneath and oh, there it is on the ground. It fell off the truck. All that driving and it just fell apart right here in Salt Lake City. So we're gonna get that fixed and tuned up, and then we will I don't know, take a nap. Feel like I've been driving all day. You've been driving all day?
I've been editing all day in the truck.
In the truck.
What was that?
I get car sick. I don't know. And then some. So we'll get this thing fixed. Figure it out. It's pushing the key back up.
How's it going?
It's a going. I'm just glad it was highway driving and not city driving because it's not that hot.
That. We have start and stop on the truck again. We made it here to industrial injection. I got to get me some Max MPG. Come on in. Check this place out. So they got a showroom here. You can come in here and get yourself a t-shirt. But I've just come for the Max MPG.
So it's a Duramax little, probably makes around 2,000 horsepower to set up like this.
Yeah, what transmission is it?
I think it's got a turbo 400 in it.
So,
But we're putting a Motec on it.
okay.
So we're doing some tuning.
So doing a Motec electronic injection and
Yep.
turning the power up a little on it.
Yep.
Or the tunability basically.
Yeah, well, we're not really doing any tuning. We don't do that. We
Right.
just set the Motec up and then they can get their
Right.
files.
And then they'll do it on the dyno.
Then
take it to the
yeah.
track and finish it. Yeah, it's a cool truck.
We got a bunch of engines over here that are inventory. These are all people waiting on, like they've got deposits on them. We don't literally have one engine that's not sold.
This is quite an operation.
They beat them up.
What bring us to there?
You're Scott's Motors.
Nice install everything.
Hey, it made it to Salt Lake.
You guys, how many miles have you put on that motor?
Right about 1,000.
Getting about 20 miles to the gallon.
You're gonna blow a turbo.
Still got the HX35 on.
We were coming up from Williams. He's like,
pinch the boost line off. Let's see how much it
Like,
goes.
it don't make no boost. I said, pitch the waste, get flying off.
Is it bone
Oh, yeah,
stock,
it goes-
never been rebuilt or anything that turbo?
That turbo, yeah.
So it'll be good. Every engine that we build here, once they get them all short blocked, they come over and put them on this sim testing machine. And they test the oil pressure and a bunch of other little characteristics of it. We might see them running. We'll watch for them today. They might be running one. And you guys
Yeah,
can
so the
over
motors
and give
come out of Sean's little clean room and they go right
Yep.
straight on here.
So they get
Zip
checked
there.
for oil pressure, make sure everything's installed correctly. Also static drag. It's also checking to make sure that they all are within a same parameter of the static drag, so that we know that
So
there's
you
not
know
a
there's not
bearing
high spot
issue or
a
anything.
rod that's an issue. Also, they're sim tested with no cylinder heads, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then they go back into Sean's clean room and
finished
they'll
up.
get cylinder heads, valves adjusted.
Then we've got like machining stuff down here for turbine housings and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And this is basically our turbo warehouse and reman facility. So, I mean, we stock.
Hey Nick, you need a turbo?
Yeah,
They've got a couple.
couple.
Oh, yeah.
These are off the new 6.7 trucks. We'll take these and reman them.
Yeah.
You just have a box of turbos?
Oh, there's a whole warehouse
Crates,
outside full of
Yeah, look at the turbo house.
It's crazy.
jobs that come in. These are for big semi trucks, to bulldozers, to industrial equipment, to pickup trucks, to UPS vans, to everything.
Awesome. Sorry.
Specialize in a different stage and a different type of build or whatever.
Assemble.
It's crazy.
And this is Elton. He's the one that's going to be building your turbo when we blow it up on the dyno. We got another one where he had to hot rush us a turbo last week on Friday.
Yeah, hasn't he worked here for like ever?
Yeah.
You know Tom at Turbo Resource?
Used to work.
Yes. Yeah, so he's in Havasu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Tom well.
I started with him back in 1990 at Detroit Diesel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're the one that goes back with Tom.
And so there's a couple other ones too. Din,
Yeah.
he would ton, which used to
Yeah,
work
Tom talks a lot about you guys. Yeah.
good or bad.
Good. No, it's good.
No, he's good.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's pretty amazing you've been here that long. That's cool. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, hopefully we don't have to have you build us a turbo to get back home today.
He works well under pressure. He built the last
Yeah.
one in 15 minutes. Luckily,
awesome.
he has them already pretty much ready.
He
to
just
rip.
has to dress the housings and he already has them
The
balanced.
only decision he wants to know from you is, do you want it standard or polished?
I love it. That's awesome.
This is Gavin in here. He's got like one second part
Look at that.
to rebuild and
Yeah,
stuff,
look at
and
that.
just all different types. And then in here is our balancing, and this was where we were.
This was the dyno room.
It still is. It's just we don't use it as much. But this is where we were going to take that engine to, but this actually was a lot easier to just put it
Yeah.
in.
Because somebody has disassembled all this and moved it all around.
Well, they decided to bring their balancing benches and stuff in here to free up some more space out there.
Yeah, that would be a bummer to blow the engine and
We've blown up a lot of engines.
It messed up the
I
balancing
think between me and Sean, we've probably built 60 engines, and that was all within like 6 to 8 months that we just kept running. And we got to 3,250 horsepower. Was the most we seen
through
this
this
one,
dyno.
yeah.
So that was when you were developing the shredder motors and
yep.
doing the competition.
Yep. And we never split a block or blew one up in here, but we torched a cylinder and lost all the oil, and the oil went on fire and everywhere. And we've got some cool videos of that on our YouTube and websites and stuff.
But never split a block and never.
We
really
threw a
fixed
rod. The rod's sitting in there out of a 12 valve.
Okay.
Out of one of his big, but it was at like 1,800 horsepower on a single turbo, just a big pulling motor, and we didn't know.
Yeah, but once you
we
went,
knew the failure of that was a bearing issue.
So once you went into the third generation motors, the common rails, and you started.
We've only
stacking
dynoed. I
columns.
bet you we only dynoed probably a handful of 12 valves in here, just because
Yeah.
we kind of took over the common rail side. Like we went so far into the common rail, we got to a point where we were running 4 pumps on them.
Right.
But now with our new pump that we have, we can make 2,500 to 3,000 horsepower with one pump, and then 3,000 and above with two. So you don't
pretty
need
amazing. You guys had up to 4 pumps
Yep.
on that belt system, and now you've got a pump developed where you can run.
I can
one
do
pump.
2, like right now, fuel only 1,800 to 1,900 horsepower all day.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
With one pump. And then with a little bit of nitrous on it, I mean, Brighton's truck's out there with one pump making 24 to 2,600 horse. Randy Reyes's truck makes 32, 3,300 to the tire with the two pumps.
So Randy's truck runs all your fuel setup?
Yeah, yep, the whole, everything's built here, from the fuel pumps, the injectors, the turbos, the engine. I mean,
Love it.
and this is one, like, kind of the size of one of the.
Yeah, that's one of the
Turbos.
large turbos. Yeah, how
And
about,
this is
how about that turbo, Nick?
this is our new.
I think we need another engine to tool that.
So this is our. This one right here should be around 1,600 horsepower, but this is our new.
This
Our new venture here.
C15. C15 cat.
This is a street tow truck, like
Right.
They would use this for work.
Right.
But we've got some of these motors up to 4,000 to 5,000 horsepower.
Yeah, I was in North Dakota for 2 years, and I put almost 200,000 miles on one of these motors. They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
That is one of the strongest motors ever.
So I'm hoping we can get it hooked up to this thing and do some testing with it.
That's pretty cool. That's cool. So we've made it to industrial with the engine that Scott built and gave to Kieran and Nick. Nick is here. Kieran is here. And we're going to dyno it today. So if you want to see how much horsepower this thing makes, you need to jump over to Industrial Injection and watch their video. You should watch the whole series. Pretty amazing how this motor came to be and came to life. But anyway, go on and guess the horsepower on Industrial Injection's video, and I think they're going to have a swag pack for the first person that guesses the number. So we're out. We'll let Industrial handle the dyno, and we're done.
All right, here we are. Today's the day.
Is it an automatic?
Okay.
If I saw
Speed with the clutch, so we're not
It might
losing
get a
any.
little more than
We're
two.
not losing any of it.
Yeah, we're not going to lose.
I'll do 14.
drivetrain.
410, 415, 397.
How much time is there?
18 and a half.
18 and a half.
So it's almost like your truck was set up, Kim.
Yeah,
It's pretty close. Other than that injector
Yeah.
pod, but you have the delivery valves. We don't. So. We are here at Industrial Injection's fuel shop. We're going to get a tour of how they do their pumps, their injectors, and all of the little services they offer at their fuel shop. My daughter's trying to film. Anyway, pretty cool. I've wanted to come visit here for about 12 years now, and I'm finally getting to do this. So we got Dustin and Scott going to give us the tour.
Hey,
Yeah, what is all this green
that
stuff?
that ran incredibly well. It was really smooth, and I haven't driven
It's your first day with the stick
a
shift?
manual for probably 6 years.
Felt good, didn't it?
I'm thinking we should put a manual in the 56.
Hey,
Ford.
now we're talking.
I think it'd be fun.
Millennial anti-theft.
But it was fun. It was fun to
Yeah.
shift again. That thing ran smooth.
Yeah, it makes
Great
power.
engine.
They are fun.
Makes power.
Yeah.
So we're here at our fuel shop. This is the first location of Industrial. It's not actually the first. The first is, hey, down another block. There's a little closet. One little door room is where Brady started it. But then he bought this not too long after, but 1985, 86.
So
was
what year
where
did
we
you
started.
start working here? How old were you?
I was 19. let's see, 18. I just turned 18.
You just turned 18.
Just turned 18.
Because you came here, so your dad.
Yeah, my dad
Actually
worked
worked
in one
here.
of the, here. Yep.
Your
He's
dad.
turning 42 next month.
Yeah. So I don't know, whatever that is.
Dang.
That's 24.
So he was the.
Yeah, I know it's 25.
You were
I
the
think is
Ford.
what
What are those things
I
called?
started 7.3 Power Strokes.
7.3
I did-
Power Stroke.
Yeah, I built a lot of 7.3 Power Stroke injectors. I'll show you the room I started in, and I'll kind of take you through all of it. But we do any kind of fuel injection here.
Right.
If we don't do it, we can find somebody to do it. We work with a lot of partners and stuff on it. A lot of parts, a lot of small parts. This original building is where we all kind of started. They started our turbo department started in this office right up here. So Shane, one of the owners, his dad was in this office, his mom was in here, and he had a little office with a balancer, and he'd go scrap yard, find junk turbos and rebuild them after hours after he did his pump work and sell them, and that's how he got into the turbocharger business.
That's pretty
It's one of the
cool.
biggest, we're one of the biggest turbocharger resellers and wholesalers in North America. We sell Garrett, BorgWarner, and Holset turbochargers, amongst some others. But-
Yeah.
And we still remanufacture.
and still remanufacture a lot of turbochargers. So, this is basically everybody and their dog sends in their pumps, injectors, all the fuel injection work comes here. She tries to keep parts organized and purchasing and stuff, and she pop tests injectors every once in a while over there.
They won't let me do that.
Some big P pumps. So this is like the pumps that's on your truck out there.
Yep.
These are all in here for repair and return. Oh, you know what that is, right?
No.
Oh, you don't?
Oh yeah, yeah. Ooh yeah. Ooh.
I wonder if Nick knows.
Nick,
Yeah.
let's see how much of a mechanic you are.
Which is a better pump?
Which pump would you rather have?
I don't think I've ever had one of these. I know the P pumps are good though.
Do you know
Right?
what that's off of?
No?
A Chevy 6.5.
Oh, come on. I don't work on those. That was before my time.
This was one of the first pumps I learned to build.
I was barely alive
And
when
I
those
almost
Yeah, what did
quit.
they- what did
I
they-
almost quit trying
What did they call this dumb little
the
thing?
PSG.
PSG plate. The,
Oh,
the
I can't believe
computer
I
on
even
the side.
remember that.
They're like
This
a
is my
spider injection.
so this is a PT pump. You've got one of these on your Cummins,
my
your,
Cummins, yeah.
your orange truck.
So your dad was the one that was
The-
really good with
Yep.
the PT pumps,
Yep.
right? He had the.
and
the
we've got
recipe for
we've
that.
got people here now that
Yeah,
are
that
really
still-
good with it.
still
But yeah,
do
that
that,
was his
so-
forte. That was all he did that and the big cat pumps.
Yeah.
Big pump, dude.
Ooh, look at that
You know
antique.
that's like 1960s.
Yeah, that's.
I built a couple of those.
That's an antique. It's amazing.
We
that
don't
thing
build those.
actually.
These
yeah.
are all P pumps in line to get worked on and built.
That's amazing.
Wow.
You guys do
Yeah.
that many. That is cool.
Then all the little parts for them. This is our 7.3 Power Stroke room, and 6.0. We do
This
a lot
is
of
where you used to live.
This is where I used to live. I ran this test stand.
Oh, yeah, look at all this
probably
going on.
15 or 20 sets of these a week I would do.
Wow.
Dyno engine up here. We dynoed it today.
Yeah. What do they call this?
Sure you stay tuned.
What do they call this fuel injection system?
Go watch the.
A Huey.
Huey. Yeah, it's
So it's oil controlled. Like it,
Yeah,
it
but-
builds oil pressure and.
rebuilt. They got it. You
So
know.
that's what he's doing. He's rebuilding.
Yep.
These are actually big Cummins top stop injectors here. So I
Right.
don't know if he's doing something with those or just using the parts out of them for something.
Yeah. So
This
these,
is actually, do you know what that is?
yes.
It's out of a rotary pump.
That's a VE
Rotary pump.
swash plate
Yep.
to cam plate essentially, but that's the
These are just
lift.
miscellaneous parts he's got for different things, so he might be just repurposing
Sorting
them
his
for something.
bench.
Yeah. Interrupt his lunch, but they don't got. They do all the rotary pumps. So the CAV pump would be built over here, and Nick usually runs that, and Dave builds those, like the pump you just did on Barber Dave's.
Yep.
They would have built these.
Yeah.
One of these guys would have built that. There's Mark. He does VP44s like they're going out of style.
Oh, VP44.
How many VP44s do you build a year? If you were to guess a year.
You're a lifer then.
It's thousands. It's thousands.
Thousands of them. Yeah, those are
It's a lot of
those are 100% failure rate all the time.
Not his though.
Yeah.
Once he
Well,
builds one.
yeah.
I
They,
don't-
so
We've been pretty good.
Yeah.
Lucky.
we have.
yeah, with all your
How many
upgrades that
updates
you
do we
like-
do on them?
They only happen once, even in the computer.
You know, no, like
The
like
upgrades
from
on
the original
pump, from
Bosch
the
pump.
original
Like I mean, there's
design.
40 or 50 design changes that they've gone through.
Yeah, I mean,
Everything
it
we're
can
building
vary.
now has,
Everything's going out now.
but everything we have is getting brand new. Everything in it.
So that pump is why I quit Chrysler. a lot of people don't know this, but I got into such an argument with one of the lab coat guys in Detroit, Michigan, that they had to send our mechanic rep to my shop because I wouldn't answer the guy's phone call.
Yeah.
Because when those pumps would fail, they went on restriction with Chrysler, and we couldn't get the pump. So the trucks would be towed in, failed pump, and we would put a lift pump on it and try to order a pump, and they would want us to do all this testing. And I said, I'm not going to do all that testing. You know your pump has a problem. It's a pile of junk. You need to send a pump. Well, the problem was they didn't have any pumps.
Well, the problem is too,
So
they're, ran by electronics.
it's 100%.
Yeah, it's all electronics instead of being manual where you can adjust it out. You know what I mean? And just fuel.
That's what Merlin.
It's all ran on that machine.
Yeah.
The Chrysler.
100% piece of garbage. Man.
Yeah,
they just they weren't fixing the problems. They were just throwing more pumps at it because those trucks were brand new. I mean, we're talking 1998, 99, 2000.
Yeah,
I mean, they were in their infancy.
Yeah, they can be a 50 pump.
78,000 miles. Lift pump fails.
Now,
set your clock. It's gonna.
now
die.
if you get a pump from industrial, we've fixed all the problems.
Well, and then put a good. Put a.
There's still
fast
you still got to
system
make
on
sure
it.
all the issues with the truck, like a lift pump being,
Right.
you know,
It has to have
a lot of
fuel
the problems,
supply.
you got to make sure you have
can't
that.
starve it.
But they've got some cool stuff out there, like idiot lights and things
Right.
that people put on them, and so that your pressure drops below a certain, you know,
Right.
like a flash of light. But you got to know all that. You know, if you're just an end user that's just, oh, a Dodge dealer told me that the pump's out, I put a new pump in it, or not even a dealer, just a place, and they don't know all these other problems,
Oh yeah.
then they'll wipe that pump out
Oh,
quicker than crap.
Yeah, it won't last long enough. Yeah. It varies from.
Yeah, that's job security. That pump. Until they're all replaced with industrial pumps,
Right.
it's job security. So that's pretty awesome.
So
my,
the next-
my hat's off to you for building those pumps.
Yeah, they're a rough pump.
The next two rooms, that's all these guys do.
Yeah. So this is those pumps.
How many do you do a week?
Depends. Honestly, what would you say, Mark?
He said thousands a year, but like, if you were to just quickly guess on, this is my brother-in-law.
If everything can go through smooth, you can get 3 done, like probably
A day?
But, yeah. But the problem we're running into is they don't make this anymore, so we're trying to fix all of these, and
that's
it's a fun job.
So this is
So that's your whole
that's
PSG.
that's
this is your pressure sensor, transducer, and then hooked to your computer
that
electronic.
also is what fries those is on like the FedEx trucks and stuff. The starts on and off, on and
Right.
off, on and off. Those computer chips only have so many starts and shut-offs, on and offs.
Right.
So we've been replacing everything with all new PSGs, but
Right.
I don't know
So now you're probably going to have to source those. And,
something.
yeah.
Have to make them ourselves. But then these are like also, Caterpillar thought it'd be really cool and Perkins to put these same thing on their every Bobcat
Right.
back, like some of the small 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder smaller engines. Like
Well, so the TDI obviously has
Paul's,
them 4-cylinder
forklift.
Yep.
we just
Same
did
thing.
one for him.
Yeah,
This
that
is one of the
cat
one
motor.
that we did for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's, even though it's Caterpillar, it's all Bosch.
CP3 going on.
That's generally not what happens in here because we have that out there, but we're so backed up with CP3 pumps that he does some Caterpillar stuff, but mostly Bosch inline. That's what he does, all inlines. And then Jason does inlines.
E-series pumps.
And then this is where my dad worked, but somebody else. It's been 10 years since my dad's been passed away. But this is where
yeah.
he built all
Big
the
pumps.
big cat pumps and all that kind of fun jazz. I mean, some of those pumps are as big as the engines on some of those things. But
Yeah. So those are for like not the C15. What was those?
those would be like a 3406.
Yeah,
like
3406
the E model cats
mechanical,
and the
A
B models and
models,
A. Yep. So we actually do a lot of those for pickup for semi trucks, but you believe it or not, most of them are come back and forth to Cabo San Lucas for their boats. They had a lot of those 3406s in their
the
fishing boats and stuff. So we've got a couple of accounts down there, and I keep telling them I want to go fishing down there, but I'll
How big those pumps are?
and deliver
They're as big
the
as
pump.
a
4-cylinder. And then once they build the pump and everything, they were talking. I don't know where Scott went, because I don't know if he knows this, but we were talking about racking the pumps, like.
Yeah, racking the barrels.
So here's all our test stand rooms for all these mechanical pumps.
Yeah, you.
So one of the cool things that we do is we put every VP44, those pumps that Merlin was talking about earlier, through a 2.5 hour test. So these two test stands at the end run 24 hours a day. So there's somebody here all around the clock, because they'll build more pumps than we can test.
Yeah.
They can build a pump in an hour, but to get it on the test stand, it ran. So he's going through. He's actually turned the computer around because in here. So they're each at different stages. So you can monitor this one and you can monitor this one. They're both at different stages of the pump. We're running them through all their tests. Kind of crazy. We were originally bought to do CP3 pumps because we figured 15, 20 years ago we would phase out this pump. And it's literally
this pump's the money maker.
well, it definitely is one of the. I don't know if it's the money maker, but it definitely keeps us so busy that we can do them.
Yeah.
You'll see the.
It has so many horrible design flaws.
Yeah.
There's just almost no way.
We with as many as we do, we always have 100 to 150 on back order every month.
That's amazing.
So. Then the big Caterpillar pumps and stuff, like there's a housing to one right there that's pulled up. Wrapped their
You should hear a P pump run on.
What's crazy is, like, what I always thought was really interesting is the pumps sound like the truck runs. Like, if you hear it,
It's like a mini.
Yeah, you can tell the mechanical VP44 motor to a P pump, and
Yeah, when you hear a P pump run on one of these, it sounds just like a Cummins sitting here idling.
yeah.
It does. Amazing.
What makes it nice about us is you can call and you don't necessarily have to have, like, especially if you're a farmer or an equipment operator and you know the pump's going bad.
You can build it and exchange it.
Yeah, and so, like, a lot of these guys don't want to have their thing down, so you know, they get one ready to go for it, and then they have it sitting on the bench, pull the tractor in or the truck or whatever. So this is our common rail facility. Once the office.
This is common rail only.
Common rail only.
Oh my.
So this you know, like when people make fun of going into a church and
It's pretty crazy when you got to
going into a church.
You got to
and
build a building for your common rail.
burning down. Well, this originally was our drive-in service and our turbo repair shop.
Right.
And I was doing common rail in that one little room.
So
I was the only
as all of
common rail
that
guy.
moved into the main.
Well, we actually
facility
bought
down
2 more buildings since that building. We've been through 2 different ones. And once that little office of turbo rebuilding got too big, he took one of these bays, and we just so on and so forth got bigger. But now it's converted completely into common rail.
So
this is kind of like
as
going
the
to church.
common fail develops.
There's a chance that he could be struck by lightning, so we gotta watch for these clouds that are coming.
Common fail. This is the common fail. I hate those engines.
Just tear down injectors. That's all they do in there is tear down and clean injectors. Clean all the parts. So this right here would be like somebody sending in a set that wants tested or
soda machine. I love it.
tested or something, and basically we don't want to run them through our production stands.
Right.
So it goes into this department over here, which is their if there's a warranty situation or
so
somebody wants to know, hey, are my injectors bad before we buy a new set? That way these little test stands are easier to clean and contaminate before we mess up one of these production stands. There's 3 production stands running right now. We got 2 more on order, and each one of these are about $1 million.
Yeah.
And then, you know, each station here, so like this station here is about 250,000, 250,000, 250,000, 250,000, and then like I'll show you in there. We've got a couple 4 or 5 torque wrenches in there that are $100,000 torque wrenches that actually talk to Bosch while you're working on them.
Yes. So you're actually setting
it all up.
Yeah.
This is more of our high dollar, like our like heavy duty stuff. So this is doing big Caterpillar injectors. I don't know if those are Cat or Cummins, but big those are ISX. This is a little test like some of our big high horsepower stuff that we've had to rig up. We put fast systems on it.
Nothing but big money here. But you got to have that to test this stuff. It's tested down to the millionth of an inch. Most of this stuff. I mean, look at that injector. Look at the size of that thing.
This is all CP3 land through here. That one we rigged up with a fast system I was telling you is like for our high horsepower stuff that we can
Yeah,
kind of manipulate it.
you can deliver fuel.
These
flow.
ones are all connected to Bosch too, so like at any time they can make sure that our because we carry and we carry like a Bosch warranty with them.
Yeah,
you know,
you're a Bosch. You're a Bosch authorized
repair facility.
Yeah, and
so they got to make sure that we're.
Yeah, it goes to Bosch specifications out the door.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Not only do you do your improvements, but you do Bosch's upgrades and whatever.
So these all test CP3 pumps. They can do a little bit of everything. Extrude hone machine for doing all our nozzles. Like we'll do different nozzles and stuff. Serializing laser. But in here is where we build all of them, and this is a clean room. The difference between these shims, so you see it's in, those aren't in, like if we're measuring these, we're literally, these ones actually are bigger, but there's some shims in here that we're talking like a half of a micron in different size. And it'll measure that with our air gauging. It comes in and measures.
Right, that's this. You have one of these at your shop. You're measuring.
Yep.
What were you measuring there at your
We
shop?
actually air gauge. So it actually goes in and measures the clearance between two parts.
Right.
So it's actually even a finer measurement than this, because it's actually just measuring the air that goes around it. But this will go in and measure, and then it'll spit out a number of what shim needs to go.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So if someone knocks that on the floor,
Oh yeah.
who cleans it up?
Yeah, this is a full-time job for somebody to just maintain.
Yeah.
That. Because you figure these guys are coming in here, each one of those injectors is going to take a different shim.
Right.
So if that's not correct, you just screwed up a lot of time, because you just put a bunch of shims
that's full
in.
setup, and
the only time you can find out that that's not right
is after it's
is
built.
once it's built and it's out
being
there and it
calibrated.
says you got to reshim this.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we still have that kind of situation, but instead of bringing it, it depends. If they know now because they've done so many that okay, this is just a small shim adjustment. I can go do it in 5 minutes and be back on and going. But if it's like, all right, I'm not 100% sure if this is going to be a 2 shim deal, the injector goes back through the whole process. So it's quicker and we lose.
Just tear it down, start over. Yeah.
So like right now, and we're not talking about all of our Bosch sold ones. We're just talking about 6.7 Cummins and 5.9 Cummins and some Duramax applications that we rebuild. Not LML, but they're doing. It looks like 1,800 was 2,400 at March. So that's our 2,400 injectors a month.
Wow. That's a couple of injectors.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing. The common rail, I call it the common fail. It's almost 100% failure rate too. People run them filters.
Yep.
And you really should run a 3 micron filter.
If this is the way I look at it, if you have 80,000 miles on it and you have a question about your injectors, if you have white smoke or something, you've got some issue, it's either filtration, bad fuel, you're not maintaining it correctly. If you've got a truck that's got 200,000 and you're asking, because I get it all the time,
pull the injectors, have them rebuilt.
Yeah, they're like, hey, when should I do my injectors? If you have 200,000 miles on it and you don't have any symptoms, keep driving it.
Yeah.
Because whatever you're doing is working.
Yeah.
Because there's such tight tolerances in them that
that
you know, the little bit of maintenance will.
But until this injector system came alive, it became the most sensitive.
Oh yeah,
to fuel,
it still is.
Filtration.
It still is.
Like you have to take.
Yeah, you have to take care of it. Or, like our biggest issue with as many as we sell. So like a lot of people, you know, like we sell so many injectors that a lot of times some person will buy a new truck, they'll have an injector problem, they'll pull the injectors, send them into us, buy a brand new set of injectors and put it in, and never fix the original problem.
Yeah.
It had contamination in all.
What caused the?
Yeah. So in every set of injector we sell, it comes with a fuel contamination kit. Like you can swab your fuel and literally set it up, and it tells you what kind of contamination could be in it, if there is or isn't. You know, because we don't get to talk to the end user every time. We try to tell them everything we can, and you know, like give all the information, but the problem is we're selling them to dealers and distributors, and they're sitting on the shelf, and they go out and, oh, your injectors are bad, so they put injectors in, or they take it to a shop. Well, that shop like us, we don't just change injectors. You have to change the transfer tubes with the injectors. All the filters get changed. The lines get flushed out, along with the fuel tank gets removed and flushed out. When we replace a set of these.
Yeah, Nick deals with that all the time.
You know what I mean?
So what do you think is the CP4? What is the real cause?
The fuel contamination.
Fuel contamination?
The real cause is a CP3 can take the fuel contamination a little bit better.
So
a
run a good
CP4
filter.
cannot. So if you
Because-
kept the roller in it, the way the roller setup is, it actually is running like on a cam load. A CP3 never loads over. A CP3 has a flat basic tappet, and as it's rolling around, as it's going, that tappet never changes. It's always pumping. So there's no side load.
It never stops.
The CP4 side loads it side loads twice for every one revolution.
A lot of stress.
So and it's literally we've got a bunch of them here I could show you, but realistically, the way the fuel gets in there, any sort of dirt or anything, just starts marking that up.
Yeah.
Once that marks up, you start getting the noise, and then it'll grenade. I noticed that like a Ford 6.7 seems like the 2011 to 14 don't really ever have problems.
Yeah.
Duramaxes every year.
Duramax
doesn't really
never
matter.
changed their filter from 2001 all the way up to 17.
The newer style Fords are having more problems. The 16, 17s and newer. So I don't know if the filtration has changed.
They probably increased.
In my mind, it's something's different.
So here's my theory on it. Us being an Arizona dealer right on the edge of California, every single fuel system job that I've done has been a truck that has driven or lived in California.
Yeah.
Like if they're
and they might have different, they have different grades of fuel. You don't think that there's if one station gets a different type of fuel than the other.
Yeah.
I know for a fact because I know a station that would literally buy the droppings of whatever was left in.
You know what they call that? They call that pig fuel.
Yeah.
So when they push the fuel from Texas to California, if they don't have a fuel order to push, they put a pig in the pipe. It has little blades of rubber that separates the fuel, and they push it with water. Well, that water goes in and cleans the pipe.
Yeah.
But there's contamination on that fuel, right?
Yeah.
So the first 400 feet of fuel in the pipe is contaminated.
Yeah.
Well, somebody buys that and they run it through a process, and it is literally called pig fuel in the industry.
Yeah.
Pig fuel.
That's what I'm saying.
So
I know there's some
Maverick has a fuel cell or Zip. We got a station called Zip. Yeah, no, it's a pig because it's a little dampener in the pipe, but it's bad fuel. It's horrible.
Your 12 valve could take it all day. Doesn't matter. Obviously if it ran straight water, you'd be in trouble, but it will take it. Not like this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like these things, you get a few water droplets in one of these injectors, and it ruins it. Wow. And the pump. That's awesome.
Look at all these cores.
Oh, it's shell. All these cores.
Oh my gosh.
And the last
We got cores. You got cores for days. Love it. There are just cores everywhere. Injector pump cores. Here's where the one we brought up is going to go. These are the CAV pumps. Tired old CAV pumps. La 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 la. Ooh, look at those. There's a whole bunch of bodies right there for VP44. Oh, look at this. There's bodies all cleaned up here too. Oh, cab pump. So here's the cab pump completely apart. This is what we put on Barbara Dave's car. That's the bare shell of a bare shell. Look at all these pumps.
Those are little TDI pumps up here?
I don't think so. I think these are all VP44s. So I guess there's a filter down in here that Dustin drills out. He takes something out in here and pull that out. They can't buy that filter, so they take them out of the old housings before they scrap them. Pretty cool. Oh, here we go. VE. The VEs, the old VEs, ton of them. Piles and piles. What else we got? Oh, look, here's all those things. So this is the part they're salvaging. They're saving these and testing them.
So, you guys want to know a
Sensors.
fun fact about this building? What's that? That Brett
Very lounge.
Brett might kind of know. There used to be a stripper party in here.
All bachelor parties.
It was a bachelor party room. So
It was the bachelor party.
So remember the Jolly Mon, Perry, the parrot
Right.
head, Brady, his grandpa,
Right.
was like true parrot head, and everybody loved Jimmy Buffett and his dad and them. But when they all got married, when his mom and dad got married, and his uncles and stuff, this is where the bachelor parties was in this building.
Oh, I love
And there's a giant parrot head, parrot lounge painted on the
That's fine.
wall back there.
Because your dad is Shane, right?
No,
Mine's
Cody.
Cody. He
Cody.
works here,
And he
but
should
he's not
be-
even here yet.
He might
should
be
be
up
here
over
now.
Yeah, he might be up there now.
So your dad Cody runs the fuel shop.
Yeah, he runs
Okay.
this whole.
We'll meet him on the way up there. Look at all these housings.
Yeah, no, I've been picking through them. I'm checking them out. Oh wait, there's more. Guys, look at this. P pumps. P pumps. Look at the P pumps. These are all P pumps. Look at that. P pumps. Also, P pump. P pump. Oh yeah, I love it.
How many times can you say pee pump?
P pump. Wait.
Wait, there's more.
These are all P pumps. These are all P pumps. Look at this. All P pumps. These aren't. Those are injectors. But there's all down here on the bottom. Down here, even more. Oh, wait, there's more. Wait, there's more. Well, wait. But wait.
All right,
There's
Billy
more.
Mays.
There's got to be some spiders down there too. Not a fan.
That's pretty awesome. These are P pump cams. That's the camshaft from a P pump. Just like a can. Just a camshaft lifts them plungers. So the way this works, Nick.
Yeah.
This is your plunger, and this is your barrel, okay? And this fits up in here. This is the tolerance on this. You really should have some lube on it. It's a millionth of an inch. Like, it is so tight, the tolerance, the way this fits. But what it does is fuel is charged around here. That's flowing through your pump, and this will rotate, okay?
Yeah.
And this changes how this feels internally, because this right here will line up with a hole in the side of the pump. So when it's idling, this is only getting a little tiny bit of fuel into it, okay?
Okay.
Now, when you throttle it, okay, when you step on the throttle, this rotates, and now this is charging more fuel.
Gotcha.
So every time that stroke hits, if it's lining up here, it's only putting a little tiny bit of fuel in. But actually, if it's lining up down here, it only puts a little tiny bit of fuel in, because it's blocking the hole that fills it. Once this rotates around, it comes down. Now it's filling up and compressing down here. So essentially what it's doing is changing the volume of fuel that's in here. This moves the same distance every time, but sometimes it don't have as much fuel volume in it.
Yeah, and then the rack is what rotates that.
The rack is hooked to this, and it rotates this barrel, or it rotates this plunger. So the plunger rotates inside the barrel as it's going up and down, and the camshaft right here is on a roller, and that's what's lifting this up and down. Now, when I was saying rock the barrels, by rocking the barrels, you gain just a tiny little bit more out of this. So you want to get 20 plus millimeters of rack travel and then rock the barrels. That's max fuel.
Okay.
You can get out of this setup probably about 600 cc's. But what Industrial does is they make these. This is 12 millimeter.
Yeah.
They make these, I think, all the way up to 16 millimeter. And with 16 millimeter, you can really deliver some fuel. But honestly, 12, you get better fuel mileage. So, yeah, that's essentially how a P-pump works, everybody.
That's pretty rad.
Woo!
That was some good information.
Turbo heaven. I could just live in here. These look like all high emission turbos. These things have valves and electronic sensors and gates, and yeah, those wouldn't work for anything I'm doing. There we go. We need some of that green like that. Dusted to the turbo section, dusted. Dude, that's what
You want it black or white?
I think we ought to do it white.
On the bottom? like what's on your.
Who's this?
Where'd you get this?
I heard you guys were doing stuff with turbos.
What's this little Mexican dude?
What happened to Scott? Anybody seen Scott?
Put Scott that on.
It's Moki's birthday. Hi, Moki.
Scared the shit out of me.
That's ridiculous. We were talking to Chase over there earlier, and he's thinking that the boat needs a bigger turbo. In fact, it actually needs a small turbo to drive the big turbo. So what we're going to do, they're putting the kit together right now to put in a box. We're going to take it home with us today, and we are going to twin turbo the Cummins boat. The time has come to take it from 600 to 1,000 horsepower, and this is how we're going to do it with industrial injections. What is it?
We're gonna get.
What do you call the
We're
kit?
gonna sell you a quick spool kit.
So it's a quick spool kit.
Yeah.
So basically, you have a matched set of turbos.
Yeah. So we have a 62 millimeter going to be feeding a 75 or a 78 millimeter.
So that 62 will get me off the bottom end.
Yeah, because your biggest complaint is how long it takes to spool up. So you got to
Exactly.
fix that issue first and foremost.
And then once I get it spooled up, if I let my RPMs drop, I actually surge down.
Yeah, so
and
we're going to get
actually
rid of the
lose my
surge
cruise.
by going to a compound setup, but on top of all that, you're going to gain about 250 horsepower.
And drop the EGTs.
And draw immensely.
Yeah, because obviously we did that high flow cylinder head.
Yep.
So
This match set of turbos, the quick spool kit that we do, is a gated small charger.
Okay.
So once it spools up and goes, it's going to gate around it and feed
Right.
everything to the big charger.
So by gating around it, basically what you're doing is holding the turbo RPMs at its max
Yep.
and not overspeeding the turbo, because that's
Yep.
the
You don't
most
wanna overspeed
dangerous
that
thing is
little one.
overspeeding.
It'll take
the
a
turbo.
lot to overspeed this turbo.
Right.
So it'll take a lot.
Well, my
more.
12 valve will probably never overspeed
Yeah,
it because
it'll
of
be a good
the
setup.
limit on the governor.
And from what I've wrote in it and seeing the fuel that it has, I mean, it's going to wake it right up. And my guess is we'll see a couple hundred horsepower increase.
It doesn't need a couple
No,
hundred horsepower.
no,
but
and you'll be able to
it's-
pull it back. You know,
The biggest thing is to be able to manage the RPM range. Right now, I can't manage the
It's
RPM
either
range.
all or nothing.
It is. It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
It's on or off. So
So now we want to
that'll
make it a little
make
more
it,
drivable, which is weird to even think about making.
Are you going to water
'cause
ski behind it again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you gonna
What's
come
crazy
in?
to me-
Are you gonna come in water tube behind?
What's crazy to me is it's so drivable to me. I was the passenger; I didn't drive it, but you know he's obviously working it. He knows what it needs. But
Yeah, it's the gear.
I couldn't believe how well it actually spooled up and went.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a whole new boat. It's
Well,
gonna be,
by having the bottom end, I'll be able to put it in a higher gear and just go ahead and take off.
yeah. Yep.
Because right now I have to let the RPM come up, then shift through the gears, and that'll make a huge difference. So
Yeah, it'll be awesome to see. So get it put on that boat. Well, let's go boating.
I love it.
We'll be
Let's do
back
it.
down there to check it out. So get on it before the end of the year.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Thanks for coming up and letting us dyno that
The
truck.
dyno fun, and yeah, we're gonna head back for Havasu
Heck yeah. I'm gonna ride behind you. I'm right behind you.
to Richfield.
Yeah.